Thank you all for coming. I'm gonna express my words and recite my poem in Nepali. यहाँ आज पाल्नुभएका सम्पूर्ण नेपाली परिवारलाई मेरो तर्फबाट नमस्कार गर्न चाहन्छु र यस्तो भीषण अवस्थामा हामी सब मिलेर हाम्रो देशलाई सहयोग गर्ने बेला आएको छ र मलाई विश्वास छ हजुरहरूले एउटा न एउटा सेक्टरबाट हेल्प गरिरहनु भएको छ। कतिले नेपालमै गएर सहयोग गर्न खोज्नु भएको होला तर परिस्थितिको कारण जान सक्नु भएन होला। मैले पनि जान खोजेको थिएँ तर मैले प्रोफेसरहरूलाई मेरो फाइनल एक्जाम चाँडै लिएर नेपाल जान दिनुहोस् भन्दाखेरि दुईजना प्रोफेसरले मान्नुभयो, दुईजना प्रोफेसरले मान्नु भएन। उहाँहरूले कोर्स इन्कम्प्लिट राखिदिन्छु भन्नुभयो र इन्टर्नसिपमा पनि मलाई 1 महिना ढिला स्टार्ट गर्न दिनु, म नेपाल गएर भोलिन्टियर गर्न चाहन्छु भन्दाखेरि उहाँहरूले पनि बढीमा 15 दिन ढिला स्टार्ट गर्न मिल्छ, त्योभन्दा बढी मिल्दैन भन्नुभयो। हामीहरू सबैजनाको आफ्नो बाध्यता छ तर आफूले सक्ने सेक्टरमा हामीले सहयोग गर्नुपर्छ किन भन्दा हाम्रो नेपाल आमालाई अहिले हाम्रो सहयोगको खाँचो छ। आज हामी यहाँ ढुक्कसँग बसिरहेका छौँ तर नेपालमा धेरै दाजुभाइहरू हुनुहुन्छ जसको घर छैन, बस्ने ठाउँ छैन र खानलाई खानेकुराहरू छैन। त्यसैले हामीले आफ्नो तर्फबाट गरेका छौँ। नेपाली स्टुडेन्ट एसोसिएसनबाट पनि कलेजमा हामीले पैसा उठाएका छौँ र हाम्रो किड्स अर्गनाइजेसनबाट पनि अनलाइन केही रकमहरू जुटाएका छौँ र त्यसै गरी आफ्नो सेक्टरबाट लागिदिनु हुन सम्पूर्ण नेपाली दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनीहरूलाई आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु र मेरो कविता सुनाउन चाहन्छु र कविताको शीर्षक रहेको छ कसम छ कविता, अ प्रमिस टु माई पोएम। धरहराको छायामा बसेर कविता लेखिरहँदा, धरहराको छायामा बसेर कविता लेखिरहँदा धरहरासँगै ठोक्किँदै मेरो कानसँग सुसेली लाउँदै सरर बगिरहेको हावा याद आउँछ। त्यसै लगत्तै कैयौँ खुड्किला पार गरेर स्वयम्भूका आँखासँग आँखा जुदाउँदै तोरणहरू फरफराउँदै गरेको स्वच्छ हावामा बसी लेखिरहेको कविता याद आउँछ। मेरो कवितामा बसन्तपुरका रमाइरहेका मन्दिर थिए, मन्दिरभित्रका मुस्कान छरिरहेका मूर्ति थिए, शान्ति खोज्दै आएका बटुवा थियो, बटुवाको लागि भारी बिसाउने सानो चौतारी थियो। आज अचानक मेरो कविताको शीर्षक हराएको छ। मेरो धरहरा एक तल्ले पनि रहेन। स्वयम्भूका आँखाबाट आँसु बगेका छन्। सुन्दर बसन्तपुर आज कोलाहलपुर भएको छ। कठै बिचरा मेरी कविता आज टुहुरो भएकी छिन्। चिन्ता नगर मेरी कविता, चिन्ता नगर मेरी कविता, मेरो कलम कहिले रोक्ने छैन। तिमीलाई सिर्जना गर्दा गर्दै 90 सालमा पनि एकपटक शीर्षक हराएको थियो। तिमीलाई सिर्जना गर्दा गर्दै 90 सालमा पनि एकपटक शीर्षक हराएको थियो अनि तिमीलाई पुनः लेखेको थिएँ। यसपटक पनि भोलिको नौलो बिहानीसम्ममा उही शीर्षकको नयाँ नौलो कविता रचिसकेको हुनेछु। भोलिको नौलो बिहानीसम्ममा उही शीर्षकको कविता रचिसकेको हुनेछु। मजबुत भएर बस कविता, भोलिको सुनौलो किरणसम्ममा तिमीलाई नयाँ छन्दमा रचिसकेको हुनेछु। भोलिको सुनौलो किरणसम्ममा तिमीलाई नयाँ छन्दमा रचिसकेको हुनेछु। म लगायत सारा नेपालीको कसम छ तिमीलाई, कसम छ तिमीलाई। थ्याङ्क यू।
Roshan, तिमीले धेरै मिठो कविता भन्यौ. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful poem. And next up, I would like to ask Shirish Pandey, who is a very active member in Nepali, active member in the Austin community. Please come out.
Hi, my name is Shirish Pandey, and I live here in Austin. Like most of you, or some of you, I was born in Nepal. And like some of you, my parents actually are from outside of Kathmandu. My dad's from place called Gorkha, which is the epicenter of the devastating earthquake. In Gorkha, we are from a very small village called Khoplang. There is only one house that's standing in Khoplang right now. We do not know how many deaths are there in Khoplang. The stories are similar across all the villages in Gorkha. Be it Finam, Mulchok, Barpag, Sorpani. There are entire villages that have been wiped out, literally wiped out. In the district of Gorkha itself, almost 80% of the houses are down. Our house is down. My wife is from Kathmandu. Her dad's from a small town outside of Kathmandu called Sanku. In that place, 80% of the houses are down. The immediate family from her dad's side, some of them are in the hospital. There's also a death in my mother-in-law's cousin's house, which is in Kathmandu. And for some reason, we here consider ourselves to be lucky to be alive. But the death and destruction in all the places, including Kathmandu, Kabre, Raswa, Gorkha, they keep coming. Some of these places are so remote, it takes days to get there. Not just one day, it takes days to get there. We don't even know what's happening over there. We have no stories. We have no stories to tell. The Red Cross, the big organizations haven't been there. There's no TV cameras. There are no people. There's no road. Some of these stories are horrible. There are no villages on the top of the hill anymore. The entire village have been either gone by the landslide or by the earthquake. We don't know. We don't even know how many people are alive. There are stories from Duba in Gorkha where people are standing in the rain. The houses are no longer there. There are no roofs. So it's for us. For the dead, there's nothing we can do. They are gone. But for the living, you are the hope. We are the hope. We need to help those people who are living. So far, we have raised from the soccer players, we have raised about $16,000. By the end of the week, we are sending $5,000 to a grassroots organization that's operating in Gorkha and in Raswa. I would urge all of you to come forward and help. Please open your heart. There's 1 million children who need help in Nepal right now. Donate in any way. Pick a charity, pick an organization. Doesn't matter. Donate to anyone that can help Nepal. That is what I ask from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suresh Pandey. Our next speaker is Bhavika Joshi. She's the Vice President of Nepali Student Association. Please welcome Bhavika Joshi.
I just want to ask if everyone has a candle. If you don't have a candle, if you could please raise your hand and one of our volunteers will come get you a candle. My strongest memory of Nepal from my childhood was when I was leaving Nepal. I spent 3,131 days in Nepal. I was born there and I was raised there for just a little over 8.5 years. As the plane flew out of the Kathmandu airport over rolling hills and mountains, I looked over at my mother, who had been teary all afternoon, and sobbed. I sobbed at the thought of leaving my whole family. I sobbed at the thought of going to a place so foreign from any place that I'd ever visited. I just sobbed. I promised myself, flying away from the airport, that I would return one day and I would help in whatever way that I could. When I mentioned my view out of the airplane window of the rolling hills and mountains, I promise that I'm not overcompensating. Nepal is the most beautiful country that I've ever laid my eyes on. Nepal is an adventurer's dream. Nepal has mountains and valleys and greenery. There are rivers and lakes, and we're home to gorgeous animals of all kinds. People come to Nepal to trek and hike and kayak. They come to vacation. They come to seek better times. They come to visit monuments and temples. For the Nepalese people, these terrains and those historic monuments are home, and with this earthquake, home has been destroyed. This earthquake has impacted every single Nepali individual. Every single time I open my Facebook, I'm haunted by the rising death count and the images of thousands and thousands and thousands of people without a home or food or electricity or water. I found myself time over time in tears this week. This event has been so emotionally tolling on my friends and family here, but it is nothing in comparison to the conditions in Nepal currently. It is nothing in comparison to our families that have been living out in tents this whole week. It is no comparison to my many friends here in the audience who have lost family in this tragedy. It is nothing in comparison to the thousands who have not received critical medical attention. It is no comparison to the Nepali people worldwide who have not been able to contact their family in Nepal. I have lived less than 4,000 days in Nepal, but more than 4,000 have already lost their lives just this week to this horrific earthquake. No amount of words or pain can properly explain what the Nepalese community has been through this week. There are a lot of things that can be said about this disaster, but there are a lot more things that can be done. The events that happened this past weekend are beyond tragic, but now it's our job to come together, to support our fellow Longhorns, and to aid this country and these people that really need us right now. Thank you to the UT community for all of your support this whole week. Thank you to the multiple organizations that have come together to host various fundraisers. Thank you to every person who has donated time and effort and money to this cause. If I could spend the rest of my life saying thank you, I would, but it still would not be enough. But thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, if everyone has their candles lit, we'd like to have a moment of silence for all the victims that have lost lives in this earthquake.